Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. The UNC internal elections are over and things remain the same. This story takes the lead in our 1002nd edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 8th December 2020. Details when we return. Welcome back. Incumbent UNC leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar has retained leadership of the party. Here is more in the CNC3 news report.
They came from as early as 6 a.m., but polls opened officially at 8.
It was slow, but good. Things are going smooth. The voting has been consistent throughout the morning to now. The last count, we had close to 300 voters. We had just over 300 voters. So by now, that was about half an hour ago. I would assume that we would have reached close to 400.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. That means that people are very concerned about what we are doing and about the status of the party.
The lines at various polling stations were long. Couva South MP Rudy Indarsing said that was a good thing.
The keen interest shows that the membership is concerned about the future of the party and so on, and they want to exercise their democratic right.
Indarsing says there is no secret that the Couva South executive had thrown its support behind the incumbent, and he says the large turnout in his constituency was a testament to that. But there were some hiccups. Sumaria Ramuta is a card-carrying member of the UNC, but was told her name was not on the list. This man suffered the same fate.
You tell me I will be not able to vote once my name not on the list.
But Councillor Ramchand Rickmal Maraj says there was a simple reason for that.
Some people whose names not on the list, they are made to understand that you need to be a financial member in order to cast a vote. And if you're not financial, if you're not on the list, you cannot vote.
Polls close at 6 p.m. Soini Gray, CNC3 News.
See something, say something. It's time to speak up. Words of Claire Guy-Aline, head of the Police Service's Gender-Based Violence Unit, which is focused heavily on domestic violence cases and breaches of restraining orders. Here is TV6's Shala Kisto with everything you need to know.
With a violent start to 2020, particularly against women, the TTPS decided to launch their gender-based violence unit to provide a platform where victims can feel safe.
The formation of the gender-based violence unit, it was formed to create an avenue where victims or survivors would feel comfortable to come forward and make their reports of domestic violence. Domestic violence is a heinous crime in society. It breaks away to the fabric of society.
Guy Allen says, there's a lot more than what meets the eye when treating a domestic violence situation, especially involving intimate partners.
Sometimes they do not cooperate with the investigation. Some persons may hear that people were in a domestic situation and they sometimes get killed or whatever. But what people don't understand is not about just knowing that a domestic situation is happening. The police has to gather evidence. The police have to get a statement from you in order to move forward with the investigation. But at the gender-based violence unit, what we do is that we stick with the survivor as they make the report. We stick with you.
She calls it a sad situation when an offender breaches a restraining order.
It's very sad to see that the court can make an order prohibiting a respondent. Now, the respondent is the person we call the offender. And you would go and breach that. It just shows what persons in society, how ill-disciplined we are.
But she still encourages victims to not just see the restraining order as a piece of paper, but to use it as a tool for their safety. As the United Nations 16 days of campaigning against gender-based violence comes to a close, Acting Superintendent Guy Allen is advocating, if you see something, say something. It's time we speak up. The message is, if you or someone you know is a victim of gender-based violence, visit your nearest police station, make an online report using the TTPS mobile app, or you can call 999. Shala Kisto, TV6 News.
Police in Trinidad have seized various quantities of marijuana, cocaine and cash. They have also arrested several people between Thursday and Friday of last week. TV6's Alicia Boucher has the crime wrap.
In the first instance, police found and destroyed an estimated $16 million worth of marijuana in Moruga on Thursday. It was discovered during an operation conducted between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. in the area. Officers journeyed several miles into the Laloon Forest, where they destroyed 4 marijuana fields located on approximately 4.5 lots of land. According to police, the fields contained 850 fully grown trees, 1 seedling bed, along with 1 dry rack with approximately 80 pounds of cured marijuana. No one was arrested. Meanwhile, police have charged Defina Alves for possession of marijuana. The 35-year-old laborer of Navet Road, San Fernando, was held with 240 grams of marijuana after a search warrant was issued at her home. She was scheduled to appear before a San Fernando magistrate today. 7 persons have been arrested following an anti-crime exercise in the Central Division. According to police, surveillance at a residence on Flamingo Avenue, Lisa's Gardens, Couva, showed several persons conducting transactions at a location. A search warrant was executed and a quantity of plant-like material resembling cannabis was found. A sum of $5,017 was also seized. 4 men were arrested for trafficking in marijuana. A search warrant was also executed at a location in Union Village, Chaguanas. Police found several quantities of plant-like material resembling cannabis, and a total of $9,410 TT and US $10 was also seized. 1 person was arrested for trafficking in marijuana and another for possession of marijuana. A warrant is being issued for the arrest of a 3rd suspect for trafficking in marijuana. Police say a total of 1.64 kilograms of marijuana was seized from both locations. Finally, a man has been arrested and $500,000 worth in cocaine seized. Officers of the Western Division seized 358.3 grams of cocaine during an exercise on Thursday. Police acting on intelligence entered a building in Port of Spain where they found a man with a box. The officers searched the box and found a small packet containing a quantity of cocaine. The suspect also had 2 forms of identification, both bearing his image, but with 2 different names. The man was detained and taken to the Four Roads police station, where a further examination of the box was done. Concealed in the wall panels of the box were 4 black packages containing cocaine. Investigations are ongoing. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Over in Antigua, the government there has taken steps to ensure the continuity of operations at the General Post Office in the aftermath of industrial action by staffers. Here is ABS's Leon Norville with the latest in the fast-moving developments.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown has taken the decision to instruct the Antigua and Barbuda Defence Force to carry out duties at the General Post Office starting Thursday, December 3rd. Information Minister Melford Nicholas raised concern about the move by the trade union to shut down a revenue-generating essential service without escalating the matter.
What would have been preferred in those instances? It would have been some degree of escalation where we could have moved towards providing a limited degree of service.
The Information Minister said where health and safety is a concern, unions cannot make the decision to send home staff. Those decisions should be supported by the Labour Department.
We are left now with a situation where the Prime Minister felt obliged under the law and under his authority to ask a detachment from the Defence Force to assist in bringing back a degree of service to the public.
The minister says the Works Ministry will be carrying out repairs on the facility so business can return to normal. Last week, staff at the General Post Office took industrial action after the recently repaired roof of the complex was completely compromised during heavy rainfall in early November. Leon Norville reporting, ABS News.
Parents and stakeholders in the ministries of education across the region are still not letting up in the fight for improved grades for students who sat this year's Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE) and received poor scores. Sources said there is an upcoming Zoom conference in which parents, representatives of student bodies, consultants, teachers, and various ministries of education officials are expected to thrash out issues regarding the Caribbean Examination Council CXC review system, as weeks have passed without students receiving all of their reviews. This is a parent-led initiative involving all the stakeholders of the Ministries of Education across the region, and the review system is prompting it, said a concerned parent who did not want to be identified. The frustration is that since October 18th, Sir Hilary Beckles had promised for the reviews to be turned around within a week, and it is 6 weeks since then. Tampion Hospital in St. Lucia donates life-saving equipment to the Ministry of Health. Solage Alfred of HTS News Force reports.
As part of its philanthropic efforts, Tapio Hospital has provided the Department of Health with a vital piece of medical equipment in the fight against respiratory ailments. Interim Chairman of Tapio Hospital, Martin Plummer, touts the strong ties the sister organizations, St. Jude and Tapio Hospital, share and the importance of the charitable gesture.
This medical equipment we are about to donate is called a transport ventilator. And I want to emphasize 2 points. It is a new, portable, and reputable band ventilator. And the reason I want to emphasize this is because the need to transfer patients from one institution to another in a critical capacity has always existed long before COVID, and this need will continue to exist.
The uses and capabilities of the mechanical ventilator were elucidated by Dr. Tamara Spencer, head of the Intensive Care Unit and Anesthesia Tapio Hospital.
This allied portable ventilator allows for transport of patients from ward to ward, from ward to ICU, and for example, from ward to CT scan, or if we have to go from hospital to hospital. It has the ability to ventilate both adults and children, and it has a range of modes from volume control, pressure control, which are the ones that support the patient fully, or just CPAP, where the patient gets just partial support. So it is a welcome addition to the armamentarium of our fight against COVID that we're all doing collectively.
The equipment was handed over to the Department of Health to be gifted to St. Jude's Hospital. St. Jude representative Dr. Patrick Joseph expressed gratitude to the players involved in making the donation a reality.
It's a very important equipment in today's medicine and what we are fighting, this pandemic. We are very grateful of Tapio Hospital donating this and the Ministry of Health, whether we are 758 or 759. We are one country, and healthcare, whether you are from the south or from the north, there should be equality, and this unit will be placed into good use. Let us not hope, as the minister said, that we do not get a patient with COVID to be placed on this ventilator. But we know we have it on standby. In the event that it has to be placed into use, it will be placed.
The ventilator was handed over by shareholder and board member of Tapio Hospital, Mr. Clinton Shalry, to Minister for Health Mary Isaac. The minister noted the timely donation of the valuable machinery.
Today, this is very remarkable, what we are doing here this morning. This is an essential piece of equipment that Tapio Hospital is donating to St. Jude Hospital in the south. Of course, we do not have any such machine in the south. It is a transportable, portable ventilator, and it is going to come in extremely handy right now, especially as we move from that institution in the stadium to the new St. Jude Hospital. Things will be in flux. Of course, we know things has been in flux for a long time in the south. And portable equipment like that, as expensive as it is, of course, plays a critical role in our maintenance of healthcare for our people in St. Lucia.
The island's first COVID-19 death was recorded at the Southern Hospital. There has been no set date for when St. Jude Hospital, operating out of the George Odlum Stadium, will make the move to a permanent building location. Efforts to rebuild the St. Jude Hospital, which was gutted by fire in 2009, is still underway more than a decade and 3 administrations later. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.